Hello everyone, and welcome to the RV Inspection and Care channel. I'm Dwayne and I'm a certified RV inspector. And today we're going to be talking about how I pull a fluid sample from my diesel engine for analysis. And I know that a lot of you out there are not familiar with fluid analysis, but I believe that it's a very important thing for RVers to do. I believe that sampling engine oil and coolant and transmission fluid is vital for RVers. And that's because all RVs have an engine or a transmission somewhere that gets them where they want to go. And you need to keep those mechanical components in good working order. And that means that you need to know what's going on inside of them. Now, if you're not an auto mechanic, well, then you're probably not really familiar with these kind of mechanical components a whole lot. But there is still a way to know what's going on with them, and that is through fluid analysis. And all that means is that you take a few small samples of the engine oil, of the coolant, and of the transmission fluid, and you send them away in the mail to a lab, and the experts there know exactly what they are looking for in the samples. You see, that's because these fluids, they acquire residue from the engine and from the transmission as they're being used. And that residue tells these experts exactly what they need to know about the condition of that engine or transmission. Now, I like to use a company called JG Lubricants. They've been very reliable, they've been very helpful for me, and I can certainly recommend them to you. So when you send off the samples to them, they're going to analyze them, and then they're going to produce a really nice report, a full report on what they can observe is going on in that engine and in that transmission. And that will help you, because before the big problems arrive, you'll start to be warned about it. They can give you a heads up on what's going on when things are starting to fail, long before it's a major component failure that'll strand you somewhere you don't want to be stranded. So it's very important then to take these fluid samples, send them off, find out what's going on. If there is a problem happening, well, yeah, it's not going to prevent the problem, but it will help you be able to resolve it quickly and for a lot less money. So fluid sampling saves you money, and it also gives you some peace of mind when you're going down the road. It's one less thing you have to worry about on your RV. So now that's the reason why we do fluid sampling. Let's see how it works. Okay, so before we actually get started drawing the fluid sample, let's talk about what we have here, what comes in the kit, what you'll need to work with. And first of all, you'll need this flexible tubing. It's plastic tubing. This is what goes down in the crankcase, and that way you can access the oil down there. To get the oil up, you're going to need a hand pump, and of course that comes as well. You can buy that with your kit, and it's just a simple hand pump. It's very easy to use. Once you get the oil up out of the crankcase, it's going to go into this plastic bottle that fits on the bottom of the pump. It's that simple. Now, once you have gotten all the sample gathered, then you'll need to fill out the information on this form. And over here, there's a label to put on the bottle so that they can track the sample. And then you fill out the form itself on the other side, and then you put that with the bottle in the mailer and send off to them, and that way they can get back with you and give you the results. Now, the next thing we want to talk about is, before you get started, you're going to need to know how long that piece of tubing needs to be to get down into the oil in your crankcase. So in my Caterpillar engine, this is the dipstick. My goodness, man, that is one serious long dipstick right there. If you're doing an oil sample in a truck, you know, commercial truck, that kind of thing, or a light duty truck, well, it's not going to be quite that long. But for these large diesel engines, sometimes the dipstick is very long. So here's how you do it. You just cut one end, put it at the top of the dipstick, and measure out all the way to the end. All right, so that's how long my dipstick is, but I'm going to need it to be about a foot longer. So I'm going to just guess that's about a foot longer. Then I take my little clippers, and here is a pro tip. Don't cut it even at the end. Put a nice angle on it, like a point, as much of a point as you can get. That helps. I was actually told that by a factory representative from JG Lubricants to do that every time, and that will be a big help to get it in some of those tight areas there in some crankcases. All right, so I think we have everything ready. There's only one thing left to do. Let's go pull a fluid sample. Okay, so here we are. We're going to go ahead and try to get some fluid out of this crankcase. Now, the first thing you want to do is on the pump that they give you, loosen up this top black nut, and then insert the straight end of the tube down inside. I don't know if you can see it, just so that you have maybe about a ½ inch worth of tube sticking out underneath inside. Then take the knurled knob and go ahead and tighten it down really good and tight. Don't reef on it really hard, but get it down tight and snug, just so you can't pull it out like that. Okay, now once again, I have my end that's going into the oil down at the bottom that has that slanted cut on the very end. So let's see how this works now. We're going to go ahead and put it in, and really all you do is just feed it slowly into the dipstick tube, and let it get on down in there. And pretty soon, now it should start getting there. Pretty soon, there we go. All right, now, there we go. All right. Might feel a little resistance going down in. Go ahead, push past that, and then pull back just a little bit. And now we're going to attach our bottle on the end, and we're going to start pumping. And if we've done everything correctly, then we should start seeing some oil coming out here. There it is. And it's coming. There it goes inside the bottle. So I'm going to go ahead and pump the oil on out into the bottle until we fill up the bottle here, this plastic bottle, to about 2/3 of the bottle. And so you don't have to stand here and wait for that. We'll just go ahead and cut it right here, and we'll come back to when I've got it all inside the bottle, all the oil that I've taken out. So we'll see you soon. Okay, I've got it up to about 2/3 on the bottle. So once you've put the fluid in the bottle, just unscrew this knurled knob on the top enough so that you can take out the tube, and then just sort of leave it in a little convenient place. We're going to go ahead and afterward drain whatever oil is in the tube back into the crankcase. But now, once we have the oil in the bottle, just unscrew carefully the bottle from the pump. Take the cap and put it on. And there you go. You have your fluid sample. It really is not very hard. It's not very difficult to do at all. Once you've done it the first time, the next time it goes a lot easier. Well, there you go. That's how I pull fluid samples from my engine oil to be able to send off for fluid analysis. But there are great videos right on the JG Lubricants website, and I'll put a link down below to the website so you can visit there and you can view those videos, because they'll show you not only how to acquire an oil sample, but also coolant as well. And by the way, sampling coolant fluid is just a whole lot easier, in my opinion, than even the engine oil. And transmission fluid, that's not difficult either. Really, when you go over the videos and get in your mind the process, almost anybody can do this. It's well within the capabilities of most RVers. But be sure you watch the videos on the JG Lubricants site, just to be sure. Also, they have a nice sample form on their site that'll be useful, because when you have the form there and you're looking it over, a lot of times you're going to see, especially the first time you fill it out, well, what do they want here? Well, you go to the sample form and it explains exactly what information they need in each spot of the form. So that'll be helpful for you too. Also, you can get all the supplies that you need to do fluid analysis right from JG Lubricants website. And that means the tubing, the bottles, the pumps, all of that is something that you can get right there. And let me say this, I'm not affiliated with JG Lubricants in any way. I'm not making any profit from recommending them to you. It's just simply something that I really believe in. I think that sampling the engine oil, the coolant, and the transmission fluid should be part of the maintenance schedule of pretty much every RVer out there. Well, that's it for now. Have safe and happy travels, my friends. Until next time.